Welcome to Chew the Fat. I am your host, Smoove, aka Slave to the Mob, and the mobsters have spoken. You wanted it, you got it. This is part 2 of the Just Pearly Things versus Brittany Renner. You already know what it's like. So, we've had a part 1. If you have not seen that, just check the link in the description. Otherwise, we're going to jump right into the video and continue to trash Brittany Renner for the nonsense that she's about. Let's get into it. Like to hear it. Here it goes.
Why didn't you ever look for like just a normal guy with like a 9 to 5? Because it's just guys will always say like, pay attention to what they do, not what they say. And and it's like a lot of times we'll complain about getting like cheated on or something, right? And then, we overlook the 9 to 5 guy who won't.
I would say that, my first boyfriend I met in college, he was a regular guy and I loved him to death. I had dated a lawyer during that span.
She sees a lawyer as a regular guy. Carry on.
You broke up with who? College guy.
I broke up with him because it got abusive on both ends.
Mm-hmm. But this is just from the guy's perspective. Like they're going to be like, okay, well that was the guy who wouldn't cheat, but you dumped him.
Well, it got to a place where he was he was condescending and emotionally really abusive. Mm-hmm. And then it got to a place where you're pushing me, now you're bruising up my arms, and now I'm putting my hands on you because I'm trying to defend myself. Mm-hmm. And I just felt like the respect was gone. Mm-hmm. It didn't have nothing to do with whether you cheated or not. It was, we are very toxic together, and I do not foresee us moving past this. Like, I feel like once, this is me, once that respect is lost for whatever reason, and then now y'all are putting your hands on each other, it has to end because there's only one way it's going to end. Mm-hmm. It only gets progressively worse, in my opinion, in my experience. I'm not trying to find out either. Mm-hmm. You're putting your hands on me, doing all that other stuff. I don't want to see what you're capable of.
Did you file a police report at all or no?
Of course not.
No.
Because, again, it's just like from... Like, a lot of times we'll say these things about guys, but it's like, the question is, like, me, if I'm getting punched in the face,
Well, I wasn't getting punched in the face. It was more so you were, like, bruising my arms and pushing me down and little stuff like that. And I know, if he would have punched me in the face, that would have also be a different thing. I've never been hit or punched anything ever. So, yeah, I feel like it was leading up to being punched in the face. But bruises on my arms to me is a little more than enough.
And then you never hit first?
I slapped him, yeah.
Okay. Okay, but you would agree that's like mutually abusive.
No, that's what I said.
Yeah.
I said
Combo breaker.
She wasn't going to mention that part, was she? She was not going to mention that part at all. And what people fail to realize is that many, many women are very abusive to men and to other women because there is no consequence. When there is no legitimate consequence, this is just the way humans behave. They do what it is that they want to do, and they follow their primal instincts. There's normally no legitimate consequences for women who do that. For one, the man is generally embarrassed to even report such a thing. I'm sure a lot of you fellas have been hit, whether it have been big or small, bruised or not. If you would have done the same exact thing to a female, all hell would have broke loose, and you know it. Men generally don't initiate the violence. It's usually the women. It's just not reported nearly as much from the men. Carry on.
I never said it. Oh my God, no. Like, it got to a place where I'm like, all right, now I'm about to start putting my hands on you too.
And that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of times you actually do, agree with like a lot of the stuff I say, which is interesting.
Really? Why?
I was just expecting to disagree with you on like everything when you came.
Yeah.
On some level, but no, you actually are more based than I thought you were gonna be.
Just Pearly Things. Come on now. Don't fall for the nonsense. You seen what it is that Brittany Renner is, man. She playing games. Right now, I feel like she's pandering to the men. She sees that she's getting so much resistance from men and even women now. So she's trying to play nice right now. She's pandering. right now. That's what it is, because she feels like she can get the flies with the honey. We're going to carry on, though.
Like what you talk about, I think that it's foreign to me because, and I would say probably a lot of females as well, because I can honestly say, I'll speak for myself because I don't want to speak for everybody, but I never thought about it. I never thought about how men feel. I never thought about, biologically speaking, what makes sense. I never thought about how in marriage, you know, especially if the man makes more, that it's kind of a shitty contract on their end. I know business. That doesn't make sense, you know, unless we're signing prenups, right? So it's just like,
come on, baby. What we doing?
The lie detector test determined that was a lie.
Don't even do it. Don't even do it. We have you on video, lady. You were literally on here talking about how you can get bags from men. You know that you had the advantage. You know that you swindled some of these cats, man. Ain't nobody falling for that nonsense. You want to play dumb like you didn't know what you were doing, like you didn't know that you were manipulating. You didn't know that you were Jezebel out here. Don't play dumb now. You knew exactly what you were doing. You just didn't care. And you're about sick of the backlash. And you're sick of you sitting in your car giving a rant where now you're trying to be nice and people still don't like you. Here's a message from the men, if you didn't get it last time, Brittany Renner.
I don't forgive you.
That's just how we feeling right about now. Carry on.
since I've been listening to your content since I knew I was going to get on here, I've started to like you a lot more, right? It's easy to just kind of take a clip from you and be like, oh my God, she's this, she's that. I personally like you. Like, your personality is why I got on a 7-hour flight. And I knew that even though I may not agree, and I think that, and not even about agreeing, even though I may not just limit it to just that, like that perspective, I respect it. And I think it's true.
What?
There's really not a lot of stuff I think is untrue. And I just have told you, even when we were speaking off camera, that this is a newer mentality. I don't know what this mentality would mean to society as a whole. We kind of talked about the arranged marriages and what would that mean for society as a whole, right? And I can't remember the verbiage you used when we were talking about how the arranged marriages and how women, if we had dreams and stuff we wanted to explore on what that outcome would look like. You said the term, I don't remember the term you used though.
I don't remember what was
But no, it's like, I get it. And all I can do is just be honest about, like, this is the expression that that is coded within me. And I am willing to accept the consequences that comes behind it. So I don't ask for.
So this is supposed to be the new found, reformed, revised version of Brittany Renner. We don't believe you. It's going to take a lot more. This could be genuine. I don't want to just write it off altogether, but come on, man. Come on, man. She was the ultimate 304, the ultimate Jezebel, and then all of a sudden you just reformed overnight. How, Sway? Like, I'm talking about a couple months ago, I just saw her talking crazy on other shows, campaigning for the 304 lifestyle, unapologetically. And now all of a sudden you just switched it up and you're like the perfect lady. She's campaigning for a man. You're not fooling me, lady. Carry on.
People to look at me through a different lens. I'm just kind of here to be myself and just showcase another perspective. That's really it.
So
That was a lie.
you do the looking back, was there anything that you would do differently? And is there a different advice that you would give to a 20-year-old girl that has the same opportunities that you did?
I think the biggest thing that I would want to do differently is
Avoid the athletes.
Well, I will say, I have to be honest with myself because I think it's easy to take the cliche route and say, like, I would do nothing differently. Now, from the wisdom I have acquired, no, I would not change this wisdom for a clean slate. And that's just the God honest truth. But I will say to 20-year-olds, and even to my 20-year-old self,
What?
Where does wisdom come from?
I hate how I allowed myself to just be like used up by men. And that came from a lack of self-worth. I did not understand my value that I was born with. I didn't. And I gave, again, people look at sex differently, but sex is spiritual unification. At the end of the day, I don't care how you spin it. It's spiritual.
For women.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah,
for
women,
whatever.
yeah.
Okay, fine. For women, it's spiritual unification. And people that I shared my body with, when I think about my list, it's repulsive because they didn't deserve it. But that was an outcome of me discounting my worth. And it's disgusting.
True.
I hate even having that spiritual tie in any type of way. But yeah, I would absolutely change sexually how I move around. And not even necessarily because of like the societal outcome. It's more so from my self-worth.
Like, what's how it makes you like feel?
Yeah, it doesn't feel good knowing that you gave a sacred part of you to a man that looked at sex with you as taking a piss. That's not fulfilling. It's disgusting to think about. And
Anybody who believes Brittany Renner right about now, let me know, man, because maybe I'm biased just because I've seen so much content from Brittany Renner and all of it was just dreadful. Maybe I'm biased. Maybe I can't believe her. Maybe there's something wrong with me. But she's really saying this with some conviction here. And I'm finding it very difficult to buy it. Let me know if I'm crazy down in the comments below. Please do. Because I'm not buying it. And no matter what she says, it just doesn't resonate with me. Let me know what you think in the comments, man.
Feel like I've beat myself up every single day for my decisions. And what people say about me online holds no candle to what I've told myself on a daily basis. Like I've been called worse by better, and that better being me. Like I have talked down to myself and I felt like I was unworthy for a very long time. And I would say this is more of a recent awareness, like in the past year, where I'm like, Brittany, you were always enough. Like you never had to seek validation outside of you. You never had to look that far. And that's what I would tell myself. I would and try to tell women, you should really think about who you're laying down with. Like, and that is a more traditional view, but it's like sex is not even worth it if they don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you. They have no desire to. They don't want to know your favorite color. They don't give a shit. So why do you want them over top of you? Again, that's come from feeling used up. And sometimes that's why the used goods comments, they sting. Because you know what? There are times I felt like that. I feel like the new toy that now is unexciting and put away in a box. So I just have to accept what I've done and move forward with this awareness and just know that, okay, the guy that most likely, that I'm not looking for a husband, I'm looking for my husband, and there's a difference. That guy is going to be a very small percentage, and I'm okay with that. I'm at peace, and I'm at peace with the things I've done. But I will say, moving forward, like talking to any girl, to you, and you know, whoever's listening, it's like you really should think about why you're doing what you're doing. Really think about, why am I attracting that? What part of me is resonating with a guy like that? If you have all these complaints about him, what's resonating with him? Really analyzing what you're doing. That's what I would suggest. So
because in my head, like, why wouldn't you avoid this? If you could go back, you wouldn't avoid the situations. Because I thought in the beginning you said that, like, you wouldn't change it because of the wisdom you've acquired. But to me, it's like, oh my God, if I knew what I know now, like, I probably would have waited till I was married.
No, I get that, and I understand that. I think that I have a very influential voice, and I have grown to be a voice for women who have gone through what I've gone through and experienced what I've experienced. And
not a good way, though.
Again, I can't speak for the majority because my situation still isn't even average, right? And I'm aware of that, but my voice is important, just like your voice is important. And that's why I would not want to change anything, because I don't know what this is a very tough spot to be in, right? Because you're figuring it out. You have people who are also trying to figure it out. And it's like, I'm needed in this space because my voice guides those women that you guys talk about, right? So that's why I wouldn't change it, because there's a greater picture. Even in my, like I told you, my last relationship, had the Bentley, had the house, had the kid, and it wasn't enough. Okay, so it may be a small percentage of us women who feel this way, but I feel like that's the voice that I represent.
Oh no. Oh
You
no.
know?
There's a large percentage of
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't want to.
Yeah, it's in today's society, many women feel like they are entitled to those types of men, right? It's not just Brittany Renner. She's actually a big part of the reason why women feel the way that they feel, but I would say that it's social media in general. What you have is people displaying their highlight reels all day, right? And what Instagram does, what Facebook does, what TikTok does is the things that people like, they push it down your throat. Pause. But that's what happens. This is how the algorithm works. So guys that women generally like, guys with bodies, guys with the cars, guys with the money, guys with the square jawline, the symmetry, right? All this. This is what a couple of females will sit there and like, and then they'll send it to more females because they don't care. They just need more of your FaceTime. Any of that stuff and the damage that it doesn't matter. All of these companies are advertisement companies at the end of the day. That's what their parent companies are, advertisement companies. So all they need to do is market to these women and say, look, look at these guys, look at these guys. And just imagine if that's all you see in your timeline. Just like if you go to your Explorer page, what do you see? A whole bunch of big booties, no? Some tatas, no? You see it, you would think that every woman was beautiful. But then when you go outside in the real world, you're like, where do these women be at? Instagram and all the other social media companies will find all of these people and put them in one space in front of your face. That's why these people have hundreds of thousands of views and you can only get like 3. It is what it is. It gives you a warped sense of reality. And you think that there are a lot of eligible bachelors that look like that are making a bunch of money. And that's not real life. The average man in America makes just about $50,000 a year. And that's hard to survive on just that. But that's what the average man is. That's what most people make about. If you're making $100,000 a year or better, you're like in the top 9%. And if you're making $500,000 or more, you're in the point something percent. So you could go ahead with that if you want to. But these females, that's what they have access to. When you're beautiful, these guys will date you because those guys will date all the women. They're not going to just date one. If every woman's coming towards you, why would you date just one woman? They're not going to. Guys have worked very hard to get in that position. So they're not going to just say, all right, I'm going to go ahead and just marry this. Well, that's not how it goes. They had to wait for the most part, especially guys that work for it. They had to wait their whole lives to get to that point. And then now they're going to just put all their eggs in one basket? Probably not. We're going to carry on, though.
I mean, I don't know.
They're predicting that 45% of women will be single and childless by 2030. Yeah. So much so that big banks are investing in like cat food, wine, like things that go with like single women.
Oh, wow.
If you want to know where we'll be in the next few years, just look at the Asian statistics. South Korea, Japan, check them out. Men and women barely interact with each other right now. The toy industry is going crazy out there. Carry on.
Yeah.
Okay, well, big percentage. So I feel like my voice does matter to navigate through this space for them.
So it's like, again, it's such a small percentage of men that you're like looking for now.
I know.
Yeah. How do you want to navigate that, like moving forward? Do you even want to date like right now? Because so I know some people when their kids are young, like just don't want to date. How do you like feel about that?
I think it has more to do with where I'm at emotionally, and it's not even like a jaded thing, right? It's more of I know my value. I can have one conversation with a guy now, and I know exactly what he's about. So most of the guys that have presented themselves in front of me just want to fuck me. I'm not interested in that.
Why do you think that is, Brittany Renner? Why do you think that is, Brittany Renner? Why? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Why? Why do you think that is, Brittany Renner? This is how you presented yourself. All of those car rants, the book. This is what you do. All those videos that I showed in part 1. You think somebody's going to come at you and want to wife you? Are you kidding me? Ever in life? No. You're forever tainted. No. 3 guys in a week and then caught a yeast infection? And you think somebody's going to want to go behind that? What? Come on, man.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to keep an open mind, and I'm going to keep an open heart. But I know by how a man approaches me, how he speaks to me, I know that there's that he wants more with me. It is just, I know. So that's where I'm like, I'm not going on dates right now. I'm not talking. I don't have somebody that we talk every few days, every day. I have no masculine energy besides like my family, our family friend Jerry. I have no masculine energy in my sphere, in my bubble. I don't, because I think I've focused on men and just dick in general for a very long time. And now I'm just going to get to the business. I understand that the window, the percentage, it's changed a lot from when I was 22. So all I can do is kind of equip myself financially, take advantage of the opportunities I have now to set myself up, because I can't rely on a man and someone coming to save me. I can only save myself now. So that's why dating's not a focal point, but I'm not like turning guys away that actually want to get to know me, like the real me, not just want to fuck me and say all the right things and fuck me, because I can see through that too. So I just use discernment now, where I'm like, no guys even really try to talk to me, like, or I should say, no guys that.
I was like, I don't.
No. Of course, guys. No. I'm saying, of course, there's guys in my DM, like random people. Yeah. But guys that I would be interested in, there's really nobody trying to talk to me like that.
And you see what? This is why she's probably going to be alone indefinitely, because she doesn't understand that her value has dropped dramatically. Certainly, there are some men who will go ahead just because of the way she looks, and some men are attracted to women's status. Go figure. I couldn't tell you why that's attractive to. I mean, I understand it, but yeah, that's not a good look. I'm just going to tell you right now, if you're chasing a woman for status, you're a loser, and you need to get your life right. For real, get your life right. Get your game up. I'll help you if you want to know how, but yeah, get your game up. If you're looking for a woman who has money or status, those are masculine traits. And if that's what you're chasing in a woman, you need to reevaluate yourself. Carry on.
And that's okay. That's fine.
Would you date a guy that's a normal 9 to... Okay. Would you date a guy makes $40,000 per year and he's not hot? He's just like, all right. Average guy.
Average guy?
He has a little beard. He's like...
She's going all the way with this. Like she's going all the way with this. She just told you what type of chick she is, man. She's not trying to lower her standards. She's delusional about it. She still feels like, even though there's a small percentage, I'm Brittany Renner and I'm going to find one. It is what it is. She doesn't get it that those men with status and money that work hard to protect their reputation and earn their reputation and legacy are not going to lose it messing around with Brittany Renner. That's why PJ Washington went running.
Skinny, little beer belly.
No.
Of course not.
I take care of myself. I'm in the gym 4 to 5 times a week. At whatever his salary is, to me, I feel like I still want to be attracted to the person that I'm with. And
that's reasonable. That is reasonable. If you were a person who is into self-care, you take care of yourself, you are in the gym 4 times a week like she is, she shouldn't have to deal with the slob. I can understand that's reasonable. If she wants a person to look a certain way, I dig it because she puts a lot of time into that. It is what it is. I could understand that. But when you start wanting them to make money at the same time and have status at the same time, those type of guys ain't with that, man. I can tell you right now, you're not going to find all of those. It ain't going to happen. It's hard for women that are good out here to get those, much less, former 304.
And $45,000, well, you could be in the gym. A gym membership's $20 a month. So if I had a kid a year and a half ago, and I look damn good. So it's like, I would want someone who takes care of their body. So the beer belly is kind of where you lost me. It wasn't even really the money thing. It was like the attractiveness.
What if he was like dead in the face, but jacked? 40,000 a year.
She just keep trying to get her to say no.
I don't like what I'm looking at. And then, especially too, as they get older, I like the salt and pepper. They get sexier. I don't want to date someone that I'm not attracted to.
Would you date someone 20, 30 years older? 30 years older.
He's salt and pepper and fine? Probably.
He's okay. Because it's just even when girls say they're bringing down their standard, it's do we really?
I think
you know what percent of men most women find unattractive?
What?
Not just okay, unattractive.
Okay. What?
80. You probably find 80% of men unattractive. So even if and that's why I say even if you find a guy attractive, you just think he's fine, that means other girls think he's fine. That's top 20% of men. And
this is very true. The dating apps regularly fail men. If you have ever been on a dating app, then you understand that even if you have some things going for you, dating apps will fail you. They will fail you. And it's almost like the social media algorithm. If you don't get a lot of hits and they're not going to keep feeding you to people, man. It's going to be very difficult for you to get a match. Even if you boost your account, from what I hear, it's still really, really bad for men. Unless you're at the top 10 to 20%. You really, really need to make sure that you take some very good pictures, some very good angles, have a very good bio if you want to get those hits. Believe me, put a lot into it because only 10 to 20% of men are going to get attention on there. The majority of men gets no play. Nothing. So you better get your game up on that. If y'all want me to drop a video on how to create a great profile for dating apps, let me know in the comments below. I got you.
Yeah. It kind of just puts us in the same predicament where it's through our 20s, this is what the guys are complaining about. It's okay, through our 20s, we're going to sleep around with the rappers, the entertainers, and maybe most girls, I would say, I know the manosphere says differently, don't have access to the guys you would access to, right? But it could be the town rapper, the town, whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
And those guys will never commit. And if they do commit, they'll probably cheat. And then we come at 30 and say, take me now, maybe with a kid from someone.
Yeah.
And it's the guy comes in and feels like he's settled for, because the guys you really wanted were in your 20s. And it's kind of what you're saying is kind of reiterating this, because you just said now, you don't have the guys you want in your DMs anymore.
Correct. But this is how it's meant to be, because a lot of people have villainized me and I've played into that. Actually, I'm going to say, people have villainized me and I have villainized myself, because it's instead of fighting against it and, I don't know, trying to convince people I'm actually a good-hearted person, it's easier to just be the villain. So I do feel the villain element is
easier to be
a lot
villain.
of, I would say more so what guys fear, right? Because they're thinking she's going to hurt me, she's going to write about me, she's going to this. So to be honest, I wasn't meant to be with any of those guys in my 20s. It wasn't a match. There's nobody then that I'm I wish they would take me seriously now. No. I like them the same reason they like me. I'm trophy pussy to them, and they're basically trophy dick to me. We both got what we wanted.
I never heard a woman refer to a man in that manner. Ever. before. Trophy D. Let's get it.
I mean, essentially, we want to have sex. That worked. I mean, yeah, you have sex and you maybe want to start being in a relationship, but I didn't fucking know them like that. There's a lot of guys I didn't really know on that level to even, it makes sense. So it's not even like you were saying, I'm trying to think of the sentence you said before we started this conversation, though, this topic. So it's not even that I'm like, oh, I wish I had those options. It's just more so like, that shit was shallow anyways. Everything was shallow about it. Like, you didn't really want to get to know me for me.
Yeah, but that's like the woman's point of view. You know what I mean? Like,
but they didn't want to if they wanted to get to know me for me, it'd have been a little different.
Right. No, but I'm saying, like, from the men's point of view, it's going to be, and this is just, you know, again, what the guys are saying.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, you made all those, like, you let all those guys hit for free, and now I got to do all this.
Well, it's not even, I don't even look at it as, well, you did it for free, because I'm not a prostitute. Like, and I'm not a glorified escort
Right,
either.
And that's the part that she does not get. That's the part that she does not get. And I want you guys to really weigh in on this part of it, because as a man, you see a female was out here slutting it up, and if you hear some of the things that she was talking about doing to these guys, you know what I mean? No holds barred. She's giving them whatever. And these are guys that didn't even care about her. So now a dude that comes in, taking you seriously, really likes you, putting in all the work, you're not going to reward him nearly as much as you did the men that didn't give a damn about you? How does that supposed to make me feel? How is that supposed to make me feel? As a man, all these dudes get to beat it up and do all this extra stuff that you be talking about, the choking and all this, the spitting in each other's mouths and all this. And what? I don't get none of that? I get the regular degular or nothing? Nothing? I got to wait for it? I got to work hard for it? And these dudes that didn't give a damn get to go for free? Yeah, all right. But I want you guys to take this into consideration. What do you think she should do? Should she go ahead and smash the cats right away that she likes, or should she take her time so she doesn't build up a seriously high body count while she's learning? Let me know about that down below. Let me know about that. I really want to know.
It might not be how you look at it, but this is
crazy to me.
This is just how, like, this is how men see it. It's like okay, blessing. Producer. You took your girl on dates, right? Yeah. How would you feel? If you took her on, let's say, 5 dates before you hit? I don't know what y'all did. And then you found out that your Bob down the street hit without taking her on shit. Like, it hurts. It's like it hurts a man's ego.
No, that's fine.
And it hurts. It's not insecurity either. It's just like that's what guys see.
But that's where I have to come in and say, okay. Like, I'm not saying your ego shouldn't be hurt. I'm saying you're not somebody that is even, like, we're not on each other's radar. So the man that I want can't care about who the fuck I went on, who I did what with. And that's a small percentage. So that's why it's like, him saying that, he's allowed to feel that way. I mean, that's fine. Like, you're not on my radar, I'm not on yours.
I think the point is, like, all men think like this.
I'm not going to generalize all. I just can't. Like, we can say majority, but I'm not going to generalize and say all. Because it's like, what my biggest issue is like, once you hit a certain age, you're no good. Okay, so women, we hit 30 and we're basically useless to society. Okay, to most men, that's how they're going to feel. Our life still has to go on.
I would say not most men don't feel that way. It's, again, it's the men that we want that feel that way, because those men have options. 80% of men women find unattractive. Those men will date 30-year-olds. They'll date single mothers. They'll do all of it. It's the 20% of men that we want.
She's got a valid point there. Men without those options will take what they can get. They just want a woman that's not a 304, that will treat them well, be a respectable mother, and be part of a good life. Be somewhat submissive. Give you some loving when you need it. Dudes don't really ask for much. We don't ask for much. We don't ask for emotional intelligence. We don't ask for a whole bunch of lovey-dovey stuff. We don't ask for money. We don't need a lot. We don't need a whole bunch of attention. We just need somebody to add a little bit to our lives, make our lives a little bit easier. Support system. She don't get it though.
When they say, okay, single mom or no single mom, I'm going to pick no single mom because it's just less headache.
Naturally.
If I could pick a 22-year-old or a 32-year-old, I'm going to pick a 22-year-old. It's
That's
not
fine.
it's not to say nobody gets through, but just like on a balance of probabilities.
No, and that's fine. I just think
I think the men sometimes get frustrated with us because they feel like we've been sold this fairy tale that's just not real, and these men are not real. Like to them, and that's where they come in and say like women are delusional for like wanting these things.
I mean, and from their perspective, that's valid. That I don't have to, like, if that's however, whatever percentage men you want to say that's how they feel. You're saying all. I'm saying I'm not gonna categorize and say
Okay,
all.
we can
I don't
say,
think all of anything.
I'll give you 5%.
Okay, 5%. Okay, well then I'm only concerned about the 5. Like I have no, like I'm not Jehovah's Witness. I'm not here to.
5%. Come on, man. And that's what happens, man. Women typically will live the fantasy life. They will talk about astrology and these magical connections and energy exchanges and live in possibility, not probability. There's somebody winning the lottery every single day. Which one of y'all fools is going to quit your job because there's a possibility you could win the lottery? I'll wait. Carry on.
Convert. You guys shouldn't think this way about me. You should see me as this.
No, and-
see my value. I don't need
No,
that.
and I'm not saying like there's nothing you can do.
Yeah,
you're
it just is what it is.
You're where you're at. You can't undo the men you slept with.
Yeah, and I don't want to. It just is what it is.
You have a child, so you can't undo any of that. There's no point in harping about it. And I think that's the point you generally try to make.
Yeah, is that I accept the repercussions of my decisions, good, bad, or indifferent.
But my only point is I'm just trying to like let you know this is how the men see it, and this is what they're talking about in the red pill.
I get it.
Okay,
No, you don't.
what were your biggest disagreements with me before you met me?
Biggest disagreements.
Or anything on the show that you've disagreed with that I said.
I think there were maybe 3 things.
Okay.
The first, well, I had only watched one video on your Instagram because I didn't want to do too deep of a dive just yet, right? And it was the women aren't entitled to safety. And I think it's triggering because like you think of like, well, why do I have to fear going down a dark alley, right? But then when you actually think about it, none of us are entitled to safety. So that statement is actually true. So that was one thing. So I kind of went through my own thought process as we move forward. I don't even know.
So many people triggered over that one.
Yeah, because it's like you do want to be like, well, why can't I go down an alley at 1 a.m? Well, you can, but you know, whatever. But I think the other thing we had on the show, again, I don't disagree with. Okay, maybe the fat comments aren't that nice.
I can't say it.
I just gotta say that seriously seemed a bit staged. She was prepped for these questions. I didn't realize that, but that was like crazy. And I'll tell you why I feel like that was very crazy and a little bit staged. Just because her referring to the phone real quick. All right. She said, what are some of your biggest disagreements that you had with me? And her response was that there was 3 things, but then she couldn't remember the 3 things right off rip. And there was a nasty cut in that clip too. There was a nasty cut in that clip. Should I back that up for y'all real quick? I have to. I didn't even want to do it like this. I didn't want to do that, but I got to keep it G. I have to.
Come in and say like women are delusional for like wanting these things.
Just pay attention to this right
I
now.
mean, and from their perspective, that's valid. That I don't have to, Like, if that's however, whatever percentage men you want to say that's how they feel, you're saying all. I'm saying I'm not gonna categorize and say
Okay,
all.
we can
I don't
say,
think all of anything.
I'll give you 5%.
Okay, 5%. Okay, well then I'm only concerned about the 5. Like I have no like I'm not Jehovah's Witness. I'm not here to convert. You guys shouldn't think this way about me. You should see me as this.
No,
see my value. I don't need
no,
that.
and I'm not saying like there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, it just is what it is.
You're where you're at. You can't undo the men you slept with.
Yeah, and I don't want to. It just is what it is.
You have a child, so you can't undo any of that. There's no point in harping about it. And I think that's the point you generally try to make.
Yeah, is that I accept the repercussions of my decisions, good, bad, or indifferent.
But my only point is I'm just trying to like let you know this is how the
I'm
men
sorry, I
see
didn't mean
it,
to back
and
it
this
up
is what
that
they're
much, but I
talking
couldn't
about
tell. This
in
is
the red
really
pill.
long video. It's hard to hone in.
Okay, what were your biggest disagreements with me before you met me?
Biggest disagreements,
or anything on the show that you've disagreed with that I said?
I think there were maybe 3 things.
Okay.
The first, well, I had only watched one video on your Instagram, because I didn't want to do too deep of a dive just yet, right? And it was the women aren't entitled to safety. And I think it's triggering because like you think of like, well, why do I have to fear going down a dark alley, right? But then when you actually think about it, none of us are entitled to safety. So that statement is actually true. So that was one thing. So I kind of went through my own thought process. We move forward. I don't even know.
So many people triggered over that one.
Yeah, because it's like you do want to be like, well, why can't I go down an alley at 1 a.m? Well, you can, but whatever. But I think the other thing we had on the show, again, I don't disagree with. Okay, maybe the fat comments aren't that nice.
I can't say it.
I would say that I
get large and majestic
creatures.
I
don't think they're nice.
They started though.
Okay. But I mean, so I get you trying to defend yourself, and like when somebody says something mean to you, or again, if someone's not nice to you, you're going to be not nice back. So even from your perspective, I still get it. It's like you attack me, well, you're going to hit me, I'm going below the belt. You're going low, I'm going to hell. You know what I mean? So I also, even though I don't agree, I understand. Because if you're going to talk about me, I'm going to talk about you too, right? And I think the only thing during our talk with Andrew that I think I got maybe a little hyper was when we were talking about the child support stuff. And that's just because that is a close to home topic. And it is a very, it is a topic that is, to me, is talked about a lot. And people who don't have a fucking kid, who aren't going through this process, the lawyers, the custody, child support, all that stuff, you don't have a fucking clue, So every state has different laws. So I think that was the only thing where I felt kind of hyper, but we talked about that like on the show. We kind of got into that stuff and why I felt the way I felt. So I don't know. I like you. I'm gonna be honest. Like I definitely want to shoot more stuff together. And
the pair of no.
What are y'all gonna shoot together though? Like Brittany Renner. I don't know, man. Listen, man. Just Pearly Things. Or Pearl. Don't kill your stock by trying to reform Brittany Renner. I know you're going to have your whole wife school thing. That might be the way you can get it. I'll say right there, because I know you said you were going to do the wife school. You could do it that way. But as far as her, don't let her try to co-host. Don't let her try to say anything to advocate for men or anything like that, because we do not believe her. Do not put her on your team. Carry on.
Nobody saw coming.
Yeah, like I think you're cool as fuck. So I don't know. Like I think that I watched a lot of videos about you on TikTok. People were very like ugly to you. And I don't think they really see your personality. And they don't understand that there is a voice. Every voice is very important, right? Everybody's voice. It doesn't matter what shitty you think their content is, you think they're this. Their perspective is valid, and they are representing a group of people. So you can't, if you care about feelings and you care about truth, then you wouldn't try to downplay other people's perception. Like it's valid. And there's a lot of things too that we talk about, like that you talk about with the marriage and the contracts and disadvantages and biological things. Those are things that just cannot be argued. Like from a biological standpoint, a lot of stuff makes sense. So I like what you're doing personally, and I like you as a person. And I think if more people actually sat down and talked to you, they would like you too. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, tell that to the beautiful, majestic creatures. I'm not saying it anymore. It's a beautiful. The sea creatures.
Come on.
Okay, guys, if you have a question to submit to Brittany, go on my story. I'm gonna pick a couple right now. It's on Instagram. Just Pearly Things one.
This live.
They took away my actual ones. I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, this is.
Am I looking oily? Am I good?
Do you?
Just Pearly Things. We're going through it, yo. Yo, they be dogging her, man. They killed her TikTok. They killed her Instagram. She had some issues on YouTube. We all have issues one time or another, but they've been really dogging her, like taking her whole page out and all that. When you are very strong in your opinion, particularly when you advocate for men, man, I'm just letting you know, it's only a matter of time before I end up dealing with that type of thing. I'm trying to ride the line without jumping over it, but it's very difficult to navigate that. So I can understand why she's always switching up her social media. She be getting dogged, man.
Do you think body count matters?
Ooh.
For men or women?
For women.
Well, if we're talking about this space that we're in, it does matter. They're literally using body count as a way to. It's a scale.
What?
Of course, I'm gonna say no.
What does that even mean if we're talking about the space that we're in? She didn't ask that. She asked for men and women. Like stop it. So what are you trying to say? Like this incel culture just thinks differently than everybody else? Like we have a completely different perspective. In this space, it makes sense. But in real life and how I think, no. Is that what we're doing? Men, for real, in real life, everywhere, do care about your body count. That's just what it is. That's what it always has been. Now, there are some men who are more desperate and don't have as many opportunities with women who will accept such a thing. But I guarantee you that if you bring 1,000 men in here, 999 of them are going to be like, yeah, I'm going to take the girl with the lower body count. If everything else is equal, I'm going to take the girl with the lower body count. Guarantee it.
Because I don't want to be judged for my body count. I wouldn't judge a man for his body count. But we're in a world.
You can't judge a man for his body count. Men and women are different. And that's the problem with these masculine women sometimes. They want to be men so badly. You think because men are allowed to do certain things that women can. No, there's double standards. There's many double standards that only benefit women. Period. Men accept it. Women can't accept the double standards that benefit men. Not that there are many. Chivalry, which you try to find me a woman who doesn't appreciate that, is sexist by default and only advantage women. Cut it out.
Where women are judged. So to a lot of men, it does matter. There are some men, we don't know the percentage, whatever. There are some men who don't give a fuck. So yeah, I think yes and no.
Would you agree that like better marriages like tend to be formed when they're both virgins, or when the woman's a virgin at least?
I would say from this is from
Pearl.
My theory about that is if you don't know about anything else, there's a greater chance you're gonna stay. So what I've come to realize with having different types of sex, when you have a big one, you know when it's a small one, right? And these things, this experience, it shapes how you view what the ideal partner or guy or sex is like. And so if I take the concept of we're both virgins, we both don't know about, you can get choked, get spitting in mouths and anal and all this crazy stuff. Sorry, but I'm just saying.
Wait, y'all spit in each other's mouths? Oh my god.
You never have.
Hey man, listen. She talked about that in her book. Look, can't hate on that, man. Can't hate on that. If you're gonna get one good thing out of Brittany Renner, bro, it's gonna be that. Carry on.
Have? No? I've done a lot of shit though,
Why
girl.
would I? Ew. No, that's ew. sorry. That just.
I feel like
Pearl acting like she approved. I'm not gonna get into that, but yeah, she she said, "Ooh." She's not on that level yet, huh? Let's go.
yeah, you only know of each other, so there's a greater chance. Like your mind doesn't necessarily. I'm not gonna say it doesn't wander, but I would say that the probability is a lot lower because you don't know anything. That's it.
That's not all, ma'am. In all reality, women release a chemical, actually several chemicals, but the main chemical would be the oxytocin, right? And that will bond them to a man, which they call pair bonding. Now, after a couple of heartbreaks and everything else, your oxytocin receptors, they become useless. You can no longer pair bond. Men understand this, particularly now that we are being educated. All the information is available. You don't have to go get an encyclopedia like back in the day. It's at your fingertips, in your phone, on your computer, your TV. It's everywhere now. This information is available to everyone. And no man wants a woman who's going to have difficulty pair bonding. When a woman has 0 partners, there's an 80% chance, or 80 to 90 actually, that she will have a happy marriage that will last. When she has 5 or more partners, it significantly drops to 80% failure rate. We're going to carry on.
You know, you don't know what a Lysol can's like because you ain't never been with one. Your husband's a 5-incher, he's a 6-incher.
If she had a Lysol can, she ain't no good to nobody.
Do you think you've peaked? And if so, what age?
Peaked in what? Like
Physically,
look-wise?
Yeah, look-wise. Do you think you've peaked physically, and if so, what age?
Like when I was in my best shape. I mean, obviously I've had a baby now, so my body's changed. I will say that the base is still pretty much the same. I feel like my favorite body, if I'm looking back at old pictures, probably 2019. It's probably like all the pictures I took then. I'm like, damn.
How old were you?
2019. I'm not good at math. What?
2019. So that would.
Sorry, I can't even.
So like 2 years ago.
Yeah. I feel like that
3 years ago.
3 years ago. I'm sorry. Like I said, yeah.
Yo. Oh man, when arithmetic is beginning to stump you, man, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
Stupid.
When 3 years is too difficult to compute, I don't know what to tell you. Carry on.
I feel like,
So like
body-wise, 2019. Yeah, I feel like that was my favorite body. Because again, I feel like I've always had because genetically I've just always had a really nice body, and I was always in the gym as well. But I think I was a lot skinnier in the 2015, 2016. So 2019 was probably like my favorite, and then got pregnant.
When do you think most women peak? Also,
Probably like mid-20s, maybe, yeah.
Mid-
I mean,
Crack her
I'm
brain.
going off of when I look at the girls I went to high school with on my Facebook. I'm like, she used to be that girl, and she's not that girl now. You know, not trying to be mean. It's just like they just look a lot.
It's honest,
and it's like you can't
honest,
control
yeah.
a lot of it. It's genetic. So unless you have the money to get like work done, you're going to age. It's a natural thing. So I don't even say that to be nasty. I just feel like probably like mid-20s, like 25, 26 maybe.
25.
Usually,
26.
yeah. That would be my guess.
I actually think most girls peak at like 19. I think most of the people.
19?
Yeah, I really do.
They're like still babies, I feel like. You're still growing into your body and stuff.
All right. I'm going to break this up some more. We're well into it. This video is actually longer than part 1. I wasn't really trying to go this hard. Pause. But yeah, we got to we're going to shut it down, at least for now. I want to make this at least digestible to most people. I want people to be able to at least catch one part at a time, a full part, that is, Pause again. I'm wilding. But we're gonna leave it at that for now. I want to know what you guys' opinions are on that. And definitely, if you haven't seen part 1, you got this far, you probably want to go back. And if the mobsters ask for part 3, the mobsters will get part 3. So if you would like a part 3, please do ask in the comments below. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, joining us today. Please do hit that like button. It helps way more than you might imagine. If you're not very familiar with the YouTube space, it's a big deal, and a sub would be grand if you are compelled. I appreciate you so much for dropping through, and until next time, stay hungry, my friends. Never thirsty.